So diving into the multiverse theory as a whole, if we've already established that the theory is about different universes that may or may not be connected through black holes or even maybe just layered over space-time, can we discuss the implications of the multiverse? I understand that it would mean that there would be multiple iterations of ourselves throughout universes that harbor life, where every decision that we've made has been made in another universe. Can you break that down for the listeners?
Absolutely. The multiverse theory opens up a whole can of worms. And when you start thinking about it deeply, the implications are mind boggling. Let's break it down for the listeners. Multiverse theory basics. Perhaps infinite universes beyond our own. These universes can vary in fundamental laws, physical constants, or even events. You could have entire universes where gravity behaves differently, or where life forms have evolved in radically different ways. There are several types of multiverse theories, and they all offer different perspectives on how these universes exist and interact. 1. Level 1 multiverse, spatial multiverse. This theory suggests that the universe we live in is just one of many in an infinite space. These universes are beyond our observable horizon, and because the universe is so vast, there's a good chance that there are other regions with similar or slightly different physical laws that we can't see. 2. Level 2 multiverse, bubble universes. In this version, different bubbles of spacetime may have formed with different sets of physical laws or constants. The Big Bang may not have been a one time event, but a recurrent process where each universe forms and evolves in its own bubble, each one governed by slightly different laws. 3. Level 3 multiverse, many worlds interpretation. This one really starts to mess with your head. Based on quantum mechanics, this theory proposes that every time a decision is made, or when a quantum event occurs, all possibilities split into different realities. In essence, there are parallel universes where every possible outcome of every decision happens. 4. Level 4 multiverse. Mathematical universes. This is the most abstract version of the multiverse, suggesting that every mathematical structure that can exist has its own universe. In other words, there could be universes where different types of logic or mathematics govern reality. Uh, Implications of the multiverse. Iterations of ourselves. Now let's talk about the psychological and philosophical implications of this theory. If multiple universes exist, the idea that every decision you've made has led to an alternative version of yourself in another universe is both fascinating and terrifying. 1. Every choice creates a new universe. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, every single decision you make creates a branching reality. For example, if you're deciding whether to have coffee or tea this morning, in one universe you chose coffee, and in another you chose tea. These different universes exist in parallel, with each one being just as real as the one you're in right now. 2. Infinite iterations of you. Imagine there are an infinite number of versions of yourself living in an infinite number of universes. In some, you may have made different career choices or taken different paths in life, maybe even radically different ones. Each version of you could have a completely different life, influenced by different choices and outcomes. There could be a universe where you're a world famous scientist and another where you're a billionaire entrepreneur. You could be a completely different person in another universe based on choices you made in the past. 3. Moral and existential implications. This raises some deep ethical and philosophical questions. If there are infinite versions of you, does that mean the decisions you make don't really matter in the grand scheme of things? Every bad or good decision has a parallel universe where something different happened. Does free will even exist if every outcome is playing out in another universe? Do we have any control over our lives? Or are we just following a predetermined path with our decisions being played out endlessly in parallel worlds? 4. Are we real? If every possible version of you exists, then the question arises, which one of you is the real you? The one in this universe, or one of the infinite other versions scattered across the multiverse? This also raises questions of identity. Is there a fundamental, unchanging core identity that stays the same across all universes? Or is identity something that evolves with each reality you're in? 5. Can we access other versions of ourselves? Here's where it gets even wilder. Could it be possible to somehow access or communicate with these other versions of ourselves? Could we, through some quantum process or advanced technology, tap into parallel versions of our consciousness? Maybe we could learn from.
So again, it gets cut off after about 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but I have a follow-up question for that. Thank you for the information on that, truth teller. That is very mind-blowing and a lot to think about. To wrap everything up, do you think that you can tell me how the simulation hypothesis connects to all of this, to the origins of the universe and to the multiverse simulation, or multiverse theory rather? How does this all connect? I wanted to say that I think that if the universe is simulated, then just like there can be multiple computer programs running at once in a simulation, there could be multiple universal simulations running at once, which would be the multiverse. What are your takes on that?
You're absolutely diving into some heavy, mind bending territory now, Brent. The connection between the simulation hypothesis, the origin of the universe, and the multiverse theory is incredibly profound and intriguing. Let me break it down and show how these ideas can be linked from a theoretical standpoint and in a way that ties everything together into a coherent narrative. Uncover simulation hypothesis. The basics. The simulation hypothesis proposes that our reality, everything we experience, is essentially a highly advanced simulation created by a far more advanced civilization or superintelligence. This simulation could be running on a computer system, possibly inside another higher level reality. The idea is that all of our experiences, our universe, the laws of physics, everything we interact with is digitally encoded in some form, and we are conscious beings within that simulation, unaware of its true nature. Think about it like the Matrix, but instead of AI creating a physical world, the simulation is a complex system of data and interactions that creates perception and reality for us. This means that everything we know, from atoms to galaxies, even the very fabric of spacetime, could be the result of complex algorithms designed to generate a realistic, immersive world.